Hi everyone, this is Mix from Seasonball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the 2021 retro of the Air Jordan 11 Cool Grey. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope you can join us over there because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit. And it's also where we have the SNBPH Steel Cabinet, where I take some shoes that I no longer use, or some shoes that I've reviewed in the past, and I put them up for bidding at way below market value. Then if you haven't already yet, please do make sure to sub to the channel, because it really does help us out quite a lot. And speaking of subbing to the channel, I will be doing a live stream on YouTube, I think around next week. And this would be for the SNBPH Christmas giveaway, but before that, I think I can have like a quick Q&A or something. But just make sure that you're subscribed and that you have your notifications turned on, because I think that's definitely something you wouldn't want to miss. Then with that being said, let's take a look at the Air Jordan 11 Cool Grey. The Air Jordan 11 Cool Grey does have quite a bit of history to it, and that's pretty surprising given that it wasn't part of the OG 1995 to 1996 releases. But what makes it a really iconic shoe is that MJ wore this when he was in the Wizards, and this was definitely quite a big deal at the time because what MJ was wearing most of the time with the Wizards were his Jordan 17s and then his 18s, and here and there he would pull out some of his older shoes, but when he wore the Air Jordan 11 Cool Grey on court, it was the first time that he actually wore a new colorway of a retro, and that was definitely a moment that made the Jordan 11 Cool Grey really stand out. It was also the first ever Cool Grey Jordan, and it really kind of started a trend within the next couple of years. You have the Jordan 3 Cool Greys, which we have a review for, the Cool Grey Jordan 4s, which are a fan favorite, and the Jordan 9 Cool Greys, which I do hope they'll release sometime soon. I personally do love all of the Cool Grey Jordans because they're so simple and so clean, but it also gives you a nice change of pace because, for the most part, Jordan was playing in the Bulls, and although those colorways are super iconic, it never hurt anyone to have a little bit of gray, just to mix up the sneaker rotation every now and then. The Jordan 11 in the Cool Grey colorway did first release in 2001, then it did retro for the first time in 2010, then now in 2021 we have the newest version and what I would personally consider the best version. Of course, there will be some things that I can nitpick about the shoe, but for the most part, Jordan Brand did a super good job and is definitely super close to that OG form and look. And to get into more detail on why I think the 2021 retro of the Jordan 11 Cool Grey is so awesome, let's take a look at the tech specs. First of all, before I get into the actual shoe, I do want to show you guys the box. So the box is completely gray with a lighter gray lid, and this is basically the OG style box from 1995 or 1996, and that's definitely the theme with the 2021 retro because they didn't really retro it to make it like the 2001 version, but instead they did the Cool Grey colorway on the OG 1995 Jordan 11 style. I do like the box and I do appreciate how it's very close to the OG 1995 boxes, but I do wish they still did the pull-out boxes from like the early 2010s, and I also wish they still used the plastic shoe trees that they used on the Concords and the Breads, because for this retro of the Jordan 11 Cool Grey, you just have your basic cardboard shoe tree, and there's definitely nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's gonna keep the shape of the shoe, but I do miss those plastic shoe trees because they just made it feel a lot more premium. Then now getting into the shoe itself, let's start off with the traction. For the traction, you do have that signature Jordan 11 outsole with those herringbone pods in the forefoot and the heel, and this full-length translucent rubber with a slight blue tint. It definitely is just a super iconic and beautiful outsole, and the best part about the traction on the Jordan 11 is that not only does it look great, but it also performs really well. If you've ever played in a pair of Jordan 11s, you'd know that the traction is just absolutely money. It doesn't really matter where you're playing or the condition of the court. I mean, it could be like super dusty, and you'd still be sticking on the court really well. The traction on the Jordan 11s is actually super durable as well, so you can kinda get away with playing in these outdoors, but I don't really know anyone who would play in their $200 Jordan 11 outdoors, but if you would want to, I'm just saying that you can. Then moving on to the cushion, the Jordan 11 has a full-length Phylon midsole, and inside of that you have a full-length air unit. The cushion on the Jordan 11 is actually pretty comfortable and it's pretty fine for playing basketball. That Phylon is pretty soft, and once you break the shoe in, you can really feel that full-length air. And with this 2021 retro, you have that added bonus of having a polyurethane insole. That polyurethane insole is an OG feature of all of the 1995 pairs as well as the 2001 Colorways, and it just adds some additional cushioning underfoot. And since that insole is made of polyurethane, it'll definitely last a lot longer than your Ortholite insoles. Then moving on to the materials, of course you do have that signature patent leather that wraps around the shoe. Then for the upper half of this Jordan 11 Cool Grey, you have this nice and soft nubuck. Starting off with that nubuck, it actually feels super soft to the touch, and I was actually pretty surprised at how premium it felt, and it's definitely comparable to some of the nicest nubucks we've gotten this year, such as with the Jordan 3 Cool Greys and the Jordan 1 University Blues. Then for your other materials, you do have these nylon straps that serve as the lace loops, your signature laces on the Jordan 11, which are these thick white rope laces, and a nice and soft and adequately padded neoprene sock liner. And lastly, for the materials, of course you have that patent leather, and there's really nothing like the patent leather on the Jordan 11s. It's just super iconic and it really doesn't feel complete without it. And the nice thing about the patent leather on this 2021 retro is that it has that OG style, so it's definitely a much higher cut when you compare it to the 2001 and 2010 Cool Greys. The only negative about this patent leather is that it is quite thin, but that's definitely been a theme for the past couple of years, just because I guess raw materials have been getting more expensive. So I think I have just accepted that in 2021, we can't really hope that the materials they put on the retros are gonna be as thick as the ones they put in the OGs. But overall though, the materials are just really nice. The patent leather has that OG cut, the nubuck is really soft and has that premium feel. Then of course you have those signature fat laces, and in general it is just one of the most premium feeling Jordans we've had this year, and one of the most premium feeling recent Jordan 11 retros. Then moving on to fit and sizing, I did go true to size, and it fits me perfectly well. Like I said, the shape of the shoe is more like the 1995 version of the Jordan 11, which means that the toe box is pretty slimmed down and not as boxy as they used to be. And that's definitely a plus when it comes to the fit, because you don't have that extra toe space and it fits pretty much one-to-one. So for my recommendation on the sizing, if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, go true to size. Then if you do have a wide foot, since this is more like the 1995 version, this is gonna be a bit tighter, so I would recommend going up half a size. Then moving on to the aesthetic details on the shoe, there really isn't too much going on, but I guess that's the beauty of this shoe and this colorway, because it is just really clean, simple, and timeless. So for the outsole, you do have these medium gray traction pods here at the forefoot and the heel. Then you also have that translucent rubber that goes full length, and it also has a bit of a bluish tint. Underneath that, you can see the carbon fiber shank plate, and in the middle you have a white Jumpman. And for the carbon fiber itself, it has that signature checkerboard pattern with a mix of black and silver. Then moving on to the midsole, it is all white, and it really provides nice contrast between the translucent on the outsole and the gray on the upper. Speaking of the upper, it is almost all gray, with the darker gray or what they call medium gray here on the patent leather, and the lighter gray or cool gray here on the nubuck on the upper, as well as the nylon straps and the sock liner. You do have a bit of white here with the rope laces, and then for your pieces of branding, you do have a Jumpman here at the lateral side of the heel. And the good thing about this 2021 retro is that both shoes have the Jumpman facing the toe, which is how it was always supposed to be. But if you do own the 2010 version, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because the Jumpman on those was facing the wrong way. Anyway, moving back to the shoe, you have a Heat Press 23 here at the heel, your Jumpman Jordan text on this nylon strip on the tongue, and lastly you do have a gray insole, but you have a white Jumpman on there as well. Then for the overall aesthetics, I mean, what can I say, the Jordan 11 is just such a timeless silhouette, and in the cool gray colorway it is just so simple and so clean, and given that it is a gray Jordan, it is a bit of a different flavor, kinda straying away from that classic white and red and black and red, but also still looking pretty classic in its own right. Of course, there are gonna be some people that want a little bit more pop of color, and I do have some friends like that, but for me personally, you just can't go wrong with the cool gray Jordan 11, and it's definitely overall my favorite gray Jordan. So I think whether you use this on the court or if you're just using these casually, you're definitely gonna have a beautiful shoe on foot that's gonna attract some attention. Then moving on to the price, the Jordan 11 Cool Grey retails for 10,995 pesos here in the Philippines, or $225 US. So I guess in the end, is it worth the $225? If you're a huge fan of Jordans, if you're a fan of MJ himself, or if you are a fan of the Jordan 11, I think it's gonna be super worth it. But I also wouldn't recommend paying resale on these because they did make a lot of pairs, but you never know, there might be some late drops or some stores that get their shipments in late, so you might be able to still get these for retail. I did get my pair over at Titan with their on-demand raffle, And definitely big thanks to Titan because they do sell a lot of these shoes that I review on the channel. And I think they still have these available in the small sizes, so if you are getting the cool grays for your kid, then you might want to check those out. And they were also available on Nike sneakers as well as certain Nike stores. So hopefully if you wanted one, you were able to get them. And if you weren't able to, hopefully they're gonna restock. So there you have it guys, that was my detailed review on the 2021 Retro on the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray. Once again, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already yet, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. Then as always, whether you're looking for that retail win or you're still getting buckets like a 40-year-old MJ on the Wizards, just keep on hunting.